Oh, your neighbors must love you.
Yeah, not so much.
Oh, howdy, fam. Did you miss me? I know you did. Welcome back, Wackadoo Racing Channel. Just I got something to show you real quick. Got the little ones out, getting ready for Cars and Coffee tomorrow. More on that later. First, let's go link up with D, see what he's got going on.
Hey, what's up?
D, and we got a special guest of the day, Mo.
What's happening, guys?
Mo, you got an Instagram? Go ahead and shout it out, bud.
Yes, I do. It's the Real Mo Exotic. You can follow me, check out some builds, ask questions, whatever it is.
So
Put
just
the link in the description.
Just out of curiosity, not like a full breakdown, just a quick little summary. What are you working on?
So I mean, I have the MGB GT. It's a NA 1.6 Miata build. And then I also have a GT6, similar to Dakota here, but I have an MK3. He's got an MK1, and I'm doing a boosted Miata setup on it too with another BP6. But it's in the works. It's all in the works. GT6 was a salvage car, so fixing frame and getting that going.
So it sounds like we have scumbag autocross buddies.
Oh yeah.
Completely accurate.
Perfect. What do we got? You said you have some updates, bud. Let's go talk to this pretty little motor you got over here.
Well, this has not been the main priority. It has been slowly getting kind of worked on. The main idea here is we want to try and get it running by the end of the year, and I had to work out a few of those logistics that we're going to run into when we go to actually fire it up. Our belt spacing was off a little bit, so I ended up taking down the alternator pulley, knocking a little bit off of it in the lathe. I ended up making a big block Chevy aluminum thermostat housing work for this application by shaving it down a little bit and changing some of the hole orientations. I was able to finally get belts on the thing. It took about 10 freaking belts before I was able to get some that actually sat on it. But we're looking pretty good. I still have a lot of things I gotta do, but I've already got the exhaust stuff ordered in. A little bit of exhaust tubing so that we can break it in and actually listen to what's happening in the valve train during that break-in process of the big cam, and we'll be cooking with gas. I still have a lot of other little things to do, like hooking up the gauges and so on and so forth. So it's still gonna be a little while before this thing runs, but we did make progress on it, and we are actually trying to get it run by the end of the year.
Yeah, and now you can put flywheel, starter. We can start kind of really starting to button some things up.
We're to the point now where we can start talking about battery, wiring, fuel system, and things of that nature, so we can actually start priming everything. And I mean, we're getting pretty freaking close.
So what you're telling me is, by the end of the year, we'll be able to flip the switch and push that button and actually hear noise?
Absolutely.
That's the thing?
Well, I say that with utter confidence, but who's to know until it happens?
Would we be wackadoo if we didn't,
If it breaks, we'll show you here first.
I've been watching your videos, and looks like you got a lot done, bud.
We're getting there.
So
it's slow progress, but it is progress.
You guys have probably seen this already, but I don't care because I haven't seen it in person yet, so we're going to look at it again. Man, it's pretty. All sealed up, nice and tight. Everything's welded. Let's take a look. Let's go past this little door here. This back look nice and tight. Everything's solid. And you hung a door.
We did hang a door. Now, the reason we were able to hang this door is these doors are actually off of an 87 Suburban. So they have a lot less wear and tear on them than the ones that were originally on the truck in 1974. When we tried to hang the driver's side front door, there was so much sag in the hinges, which is notorious for square bodies, you can actually hear it, that the door sagged so badly it actually hit the brand new replacement kick panels that we just put in, or the rockers. Now, that's an easy thing to remedy. You can replace the pins and so on and so forth. I went to my boys at LMC Truck and just bought brand new hinges. So when I get the opportunity, I can rehang the doors, but I have a bunch of other stuff that I need to do on the doors first. I got a couple of dents I want to remove. I want to get them primered up and replace some glass that somebody shot out. And then I can go ahead and hang the doors. But we're going to wait until we finish the passenger side first. That way everything's all ready to go and I can do the doors all in one day.
Speaking of, let's take a little gander. See where you're at on the passenger side.
Over yonder.
Over yonder way.
Here.
You made my hack job look better. That's good. If you don't remember, I'm the one that hacked up this side. Actually, it looks pretty damn decent, bud.
As I look
Welded
at the chassis support in place underneath the patch panel, I've got everything patched in from the front. We did have a bit more extensive rust damage on this side, so the patch panel goes a little bit higher, but that's already been done. So realistically, what I'm looking at is replacing from here to here, and I need to do a couple of small trim panels here to try and button up where some surface rust is obviously coming through. So we're nearly done with the passenger side, just not quite there yet.
Just gotta fill some holes. That's what you gotta do.
I haven't been doing a lot of video on that because it's very boring work, and I'm really eager to just be done with it. It is happening. It is getting done.
So little birdie told me that you ordered some new parts
Maybe.
for the truck.
I kind of needed a morale increase. Working on the floor of this thing constantly has been frustrating, and it's been tedious work, and it's not been fun at all. So I figured something that made the truck more fun would go a long way. So I did actually get my hands on an original cab spoiler for the crew cab square body. They're pretty freaking rare. They're kind of hard to get your hands on, but I was able to finally find somebody that remanufactures them. So I got one of those coming. That'll be here later in the week. I'm going to be ordering the front shade visor for the windshield, and I'm going to be replacing these cab lights. So just some stuff. They're cosmetic. They're not going to change anything about the truck, but it feels nice to have something it's fun. It's actually cool. I'm also going to be doing some vented louvers in the hood to try and do a little bit more exhaust heating to get some of that heat out of the engine bay. Just some stuff that's going to look cool, be functional in the end, but it feels a lot better than replacing rusty floorboards for the second month in a row.
So we're looking at finalizing floorboards.
Yep.
And then you get the goodies in.
And hanging doors.
We'll hang some doors.
During that time, we're going to go ahead and start working on making a custom sub harness for the doors, because those are electric doors with electric locks and windows. We have to analyze where all of that wiring is going to go and come from, power, and so on and so forth. But we got to get the doors pretty well cleaned up beforehand. A, they don't match, and B, some of the glass needs to be replaced, obviously. So we're not going to do that all in one fell swoop, so it's going to be kind of its own small sub project.
Sounds like.
And
Sounds like fun.
I can probably start making mock-up templates for building out some aluminum door panels for the skins.
Sounds a lot better than replacing floor pans. So
everything is better than replacing floor pans.
If you could hurry up and get that done, it'd be great.
I'll get right on it.
Yeah, thanks. But now for the real reason we're actually here today. We're getting the little ones out. We got Blitz and Bronson. Getting little ones out. There's, like I said, Cars and Coffee out here at Riverside tomorrow. Finally open back up. It's our local Cars and Coffee we always go to. So we're getting those things all buttoned up. She hasn't been running for a while, so she's got some cobwebs. She's running a little bit hot. Just wanted to make sure everything was still functional and good. And little Bronson, same thing. Hasn't been running in a while. Haven't really had much time for it. There hasn't been anything open. So we're just going to wash her down and make sure everything is going gravy on both of those. And then Mo, on his builds, just so happens to need some reflanging done on his header and a couple other little things. So
alrighty, so I went ahead and cut off the header here. I made an indication on the table and I tacked it to the table and then used a guide to cut across it. So I know that we're taking 1.25 inches out of it, including the flange, which I think is a 3/8 flange. So it's just shy of 1 inch, but we're probably gonna have to grind this back a bit, so it'll probably be about 1 inch when we're done. But I've indicated on the table where this height needs to be by using a stick with a mark on it. So that when we're done, I can make sure that it's the same amount that we took out from here to there, so that the end of this thing stays in orientation to the rest of it, so that it's the same depth to the block. And nothing too fancy. We're just going to go ahead and finish knocking these off, measure them out to make sure that we're getting the same height on that stick, and we'll go ahead and weld it back up. Should be quick and easy. We managed to knock the tubes loose. We took 7/8 of an inch out of each one total, and we've taken these tubes and they actually lay into the flange as ovals. So we pounded them out so that they're as oval as they're going to get. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this back. I had it tacked on the table so that we can make sure that we're still in orientation to where it was previously. We'll tack it up, and if everything sits nice, we'll go ahead and tack it to more spots so it can't move, and then we'll run all it up. Just like that. I managed to take 1 inch out of all the primary tubes, which will will reduce the profile height this way. So hopefully he'll have additional room around the steering rod. What do you think?
I'm f***ing stoked.
Cool. Move on, see if we can do something with his radiator. We need to put a couple of mounts on it. How quickly plans change. This morning when Cody came over, the car was running a little hot and we didn't really think a whole lot of it. It's run hot pretty much since he got the car. It's got a pusher and a puller fan on it, and it still is not able to keep up with the demand. It looks like he's burning a little water somewhere, losing a little bit of water somewhere. We went ahead and put the car in the driveway at an angle so we can create a high point and get as much air out of the system as possible, and we thought it was licked. He made it most of the way home, and then the car kind of gave up on him, so he had to have it AAA at home. We haven't had a chance to look at it and assess the damage or figure out why it shut off, but something's wrong. So we're not going to go to Cars and Coffee with it tomorrow, and I don't see any point in detailing the Triumph for the next couple of hours just to go by myself. That's going to be kind of disappointing. So I'm going to skip out on that. Worst case scenario, Cody could have done some real damage to the motor in the Opel. It's possible. Things overheated a few times, and as resilient as it is, it's only going to be able to get away with that so many times before something catastrophic happens. That being said, we've got the motor ready for his car, and it looks like his scheduling might be changing in the near future for work, so we might actually be able to do the motor swap soon. Now, the pressure's on me to get this thing done so we can get it out of the way in case he does free up the time so we can do that motor swap and get a turbo going on that thing sooner rather than later, because that's what I'm looking forward to. This, it's got to be done. That is going to be a freaking blast. So I don't want anything bad to happen to his motor, but it wouldn't be all bad. However, we'll still go, and if I find anything really cool, I'll grab some video of it on the way out. Along with that, I was able to help out Mo with a bunch of his stuff. So ultimately, the things that he needed is he needed the header shortened up by 1 inch so it would stop hitting his steering rod. We were able to do that. It's airtight and it looks pretty good. Happy with that. He's gonna be headers wrapping over everything anyways, so pretty easy one. He has a radiator where somebody had cut all the tabs off so it wouldn't mount in the car anymore. We went ahead and made new tabs so he could mount it in the car, and that was a pretty easy one too. Another one of his friends tried to weld it and they were having a little bit of a struggle. I was lucky enough to be able to go ahead and knock it out for him. The last thing is he needs a trans cross member so he can go ahead and get his driveline cut. I have the mock-up that he used that has all the correct measurements, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish that one up at work probably during the week when I have access to the proper equipment to cut metal a lot faster than I can do it here. Quick Monday night update. This is the mock-up trans cross member that Mo sent me with. This is evidently upside down, so it needs to be this way. But took it to work with me. From the best of my abilities, made up this one. It is far more difficult working off of measurements that are not my own without the car available, but we have that. So we now have a cross member for Mo's machine. And also, the first of the cab lights showed up for the ramp truck. So after checking them out and seeing what I feel about them, I'm quite content, and I actually ordered a full set. So I'll have these for the ramp truck as well, and tomorrow the cab wing is supposed to arrive. So we'll see if we can do something with that. Exciting to see Mo making progress again, and after a quick blast around the block in the Triumph, he's back to being inspired to get on his project again. So I'm hoping to see more updates on that soon. I'll be working on the motor, continue working on that this week, trying to get the flywheel and the starter on, and a couple other odds and ends. So hopefully we can get that thing running fairly soon. And this thing is the real thing of need. I would like to get this done hopefully this week, maybe wrap it up next weekend. I'm not covering a lot of content on this particularly because there's already so many guys doing a great job of covering square body content on YouTube. I don't have the ability to go into depth the way that they do and still get anything done. Unless we see something really cool tomorrow that I just got to get some video of or run into some friends that you guys need to meet, I think we're done for the day. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do so you can follow along with some of these projects and get an idea of what's really going on here on the channel. I think that's about it. Wackadoo out.